concerning 57th Street has been out. As you can see behind me, there's a cab that's going entirely too fast. It's kind of slushy. The temperature has risen significantly in the last 6 to 12 hours. We perhaps, with all the information we've been feeding you, have neglected to point that out. And that may be significant in that it may be cutting down the drifting just a wee bit, because as the temperature has risen, the snow, while not a totally wet snow, has tended to become a little bit more moist. And that means as it hits what is already fallen, and because it's a little more moist, its durability and holdability, to put it simply, it increases, so it doesn't drift quite as much. But of course, it's going to continue snowing for the next 12 hours, maybe most of tomorrow. I said several inches yet to come. Back to you, John.
Exactly. We'll continue with more of the winter of '78 in just a few moments. How much snow will we have? Channel 2 News meteorologist Alan Kasper is out on 57th Street for a live report, and we'll try to answer some of those questions. Alan?
Well, Mr. and Mrs. New York and environs, welcome to the frozen tundra of West 57th Street. And it is bad. The intensity of the snow in the last about half hour to 45 minutes has picked up again, as expected. When we first got out here about 4:30, it had really tapered off to very, very light snow and stayed that way until about 5 o'clock. As you know, probably by now, I believe, since I've been out here, I've been a little difficulty getting information, and Joe will impart that to you in the studio very shortly, but I think there's about 10 inches on the ground officially. I think that might be a little conservative, but we'll have to respect the Weather Bureau people who measured it. 10 to 12 inches would probably be a good estimate for Midtown Manhattan. As much as 18 inches, and that was a few hours ago, down in the coastal areas of New Jersey, down in Monmouth and Ocean County, drifts there up to 7 feet. And the surface temperature, I can't tell for sure. Again, you'll have to check with Joe on this in a second or two, but it seems like the temperature might have dropped a degree or two, and the flakes are getting larger. It looks like it's moderate snow, and the street, excuse me, West 57th Street, which was getting kind of slushy because the snow had let up, again, looks like it's picked up maybe in the last half hour, an hour, half an inch or 3/4 of an inch of snow, and it's getting snow covered again. And if the temperature has dropped, the snow perhaps is not quite as wet as it was, which means it's having a tendency to drift. The visibility, as I look down toward the Hudson, New Jersey, is bye-bye. It's totally obscured. I can't see. Of course, it's also nighttime as well. As I look to my left, which is east up toward 10th Avenue, visibility can't be more than, oh gosh, about a half a mile, if it's that much, half to 3/4 of a mile. A good light to moderate snow. The intensity is going to be continuing at this rate off and on, and for the details, I believe we'll go to Joe right now. Joe?
Well, in New York, Jim, that snow broke a record. Since weather people started keeping records just after the Civil War in 1869, it's never snowed this late in the season. Not until today.
Ah, but you obviously missed Alan Kasper last night.
Same. Cloudy, windy, not an all-day rain, but again, don't be surprised if you see some snow, maybe even here in Manhattan, not out of the 40s, believe it or not. Well, snow, too. The snow freaks, of which I'm included, happily, are going to start the heart palpitations in about another 12 or 24 hours. It's going to be close again, but probably with our luck, it'll be no cigar, but I'm not very sure of that at this hour. The barometer was rising, and it is still now 30.23, but it'll begin to fall off, and the wind is actually light and variable northeast at 5 miles an hour. On the national weather map, a storm which last night was north of Montana has swung east-southeastward. This morning was in South Dakota, now is in western Michigan. There's some light snow falling in Michigan, in the Detroit area, in northern Ohio and Cleveland, and in north-central Pennsylvania. However, that is going to be taken to our north and west. There could be some light rain or light snow showers developing to our west and south later tomorrow afternoon out ahead of this system, but all eyes are pointed to a development of possibility of a storm down in this area, let's say later tomorrow and tomorrow evening. At this stage, it'll probably move rapidly northeastward, and before it can develop and really gain moisture support, it'll probably be just abreast of us, and that means just a light precipitation event. But if it develops more rapidly down in this area and picks up more moisture, we're in big trouble. Let's take a look at the 5-day board. Tomorrow, clouds. By evening, some light snow north and west, some light rain elsewhere, changing to light snow before ending late tomorrow night, and then a dry, cold weekend. Tonight, partially clear, lots of high clouds around, 20s here, teens up north. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. During the afternoon or evening, light snow north and west of here. Here in the city and along the coast, maybe some light rain, changing to light snow, 30s to low 40s, and a slight chance it could be a big one, but we're not saying that right now. Here's Steve.
Have no fear, Alan. That means you can now still afford to pay the 10 cents to call the Weather Bureau for your forecast.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to call my mother or something like that.
Maybe you ought to.
Oh, yes, she helped me once. Maybe she could help me tonight.